сегодня мы собрались здесь, чтобы сказать, что надежду у нас отнять нельзя.
At the Trocadero in Paris, a final homage to the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who died in an Arctic prison colony in mid-February.
Россия будет свободной! Россия будет свободной!
Towards the back of the crowd, Sveta is here with her husband, who wishes to remain anonymous. They came to France last October because they were against Russia's war in Ukraine, but had not got involved in activism over here. Navalny's death spurred them into action.
We understood that things would get worse. We knew that already. But now, a new line has been crossed. We had the impression that nothing we could do would have any effect, and so we'd lost motivation. Now we've got it back, unfortunately, for tragic reasons.
Feeling powerless to change the direction Russia is headed in, Sveta tries to help where she can. We meet her a few days after the demonstration on her way to the Russian library in Paris.
We'll start in 5 minutes. We're just waiting for a colleague who will translate into French.
About once a month, Memorial France, the French branch of the banned Russian NGO that won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2022, holds workshops where people write letters to political prisoners in Russia and Belarus.
My name is Yana. We organize these evenings together with Katya. Are any of you here for the first time? It's tricky to write about politics or the war. Your letter may get censored. It's important because people who are in detention in Russia are cut off from almost all information. Showing them that they're not alone means something.
Yana was a volunteer with Memorial in Moscow. Like many others, she left after the war started and the NGO was dissolved. Asked how she feels after the presumed killing of Alexei Navalny in prison, she struggles to find her words.
I think that it has changed everything, absolutely everything, in the lives of a great many people. I think we don't yet realize just how much. Yes, it's very hard.
Sveta, meanwhile, prefers not to talk about her old life in Russia. The fear is still there, as well as the urge to act.
I'm all too aware that taking part in street demonstrations, now that I'm here in France, won't change anything in Russia. But writing letters to prisoners is useful and constructive.
Help me put it up where everyone can see.
In Paris's 9th arrondissement, these activists are putting the finishing touches to a new space for Russian and Russian-speaking exiles.
This will be the main room with a co-working area and offices, including Olga's, who's the centre's coordinator. And over there is the big co-working room. On the one hand, it's great that we can do this. And on the other hand, it's sad, because it proves that no one expects the situation in Russia to change in the foreseeable future, and that people who've had to leave Russia for political reasons today are well aware that they won't really be able to go home anytime soon.
Another day, another demonstration. This time, it's for Memorial's co-founder, Oleg Olov, who has been sentenced by a Moscow court to 2.5 years in a penal colony. His crime? Calling the Russian state fascist. Historians and intellectuals have come to support their eminent Russian colleague. Sveta has joined them.
Unfortunately, not all the political prisoners are well known in the media. But if we had to come out to protest for every political prisoner, we'd have to protest every day, because every day the list gets longer. Sure, I'd like to go to this marvelous Russia of the future, or back to the Russia of the past, which I remember also well, and where there were so many lovely things. But I try not to think about it too much. Let it just be a nice dream.
There have already been more than 900 criminal cases for anti-war statements in Russia, according to OVD Info, an NGO. After Navalny's funeral, the exiles expect that the regime will only get harsher once the formality of the presidential election is over with.